Let's start with Snap, though, Jim. Hard to start anywhere else as they crush the estimates. Revenue up 50. RBC this morning says the growth looks less like a V and more like a check mark. And I saw you gave Evan Spiegel some shout-outs on Twitter last night.
I had to. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of followers, so I don't know. He didn't bounce it back to me. Unlike there's some people who get right involved in when you, like one of my guests today, Mr. Fisker. But one of the things that I found that was spectacular was when I first started the street, we had a guy from advertising, I won't mention his name, and he said, look, the holy grail is to get someone to start using Colgate when they're 16. Snap, augmented reality, is all about reaching that age before they decide, you know, look, it's going to be Old Spice or it's going to be whatever, I don't know, Church and Dwight or Cloroxes, whatever they have. And what matters is that you can reach these people. You can't reach them through conventional TV anymore. David, they don't watch the shows because they have commercials, okay? They don't watch the shows because they think the shows aren't any good. They like this. Yes. And you know it because your kids are addicted to Snap.
Well, one was more addicted to TikTok, but they use Snap to communicate.
Yes.
That's what they use it for.
Yes.
They use it as we old people use text.
Exactly.
And we're pretty proud of the fact that we use text, but yeah, I can't even communicate with my kids because they're not texting. They're on Snap, which I'm not on. But Jim, it's beyond just the daily average users, which was daily active users, which increased 18% to over 249 million.
Right.
It's the revenue number. And the revenue number up 52% to 679 million raises a question as to whether or not they also are starting to get some ad budgets diverted from TV.
That's exactly my point. I think they are. And I think that this is the denouement, so to speak, of traditional advertising, because the numbers we're seeing from Snap, Carl, from Pinterest, I think advertisers for a long time were about having martini lunches. You can't even go out anymore. Nobody goes out. And so what happens is they're not putting on TV. They're Snap. They're using Snap, augmented reality. They're looking Pinterest. That's how you want to figure out how to take a trip. You go on Pinterest. The ads are all integrated. They're basically personalized. This is the denouement. Look, I worked in radio when radio was big, before the screen got small. Dave, that's a reference to Sunset Boulevard. But this is it. Yes. How about that Ella Fitzgerald that you put on last night? Holy cow, Carl. But I do think that I follow. If you don't follow Carl, Carl's like the best follow in the world.
Totally, he's a great follow.
Makes me want to buy Twitter, which I think will be up a lot today. But when you look at these numbers, you realize that maybe TV's doing what it did to the movies, let alone radio, and now I think Snap is doing to TV. It's really extraordinary.
Let's talk.
Really extraordinary.
Some price targets, Jim. We'll get to the pins upgrade a little bit later today. Actually, there's two of them. But yesterday, Evercore went to 35 Snap, and it's basically there. We got a few more today. Morgan Stanley 36, RBC 45. How are we going to know when it starts to get rich again?
Well, I think that this is a real moving target. I mean, look at Facebook where that is. See, once you get rolling, once you start growing. Now, I heard someone say, well, listen, it's really mostly international. I mean, I don't really care. Facebook was mostly international. That's when it really took off. So I look at these numbers and I think, all right, you got a juggernaut in this market. A juggernaut lasts for more than a quarter. And I think this is real. By the way, Spiegel on the conference call, he sounded every bit like someone who is versus, if you listen to his early conference calls, they were like, you know, it was like our gang comedy. I mean, not now. David, Spiegel speaks the speak.
He's focused.
He talks the talk.
He talks the talk.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.